Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts. And so I wanted to do a follow-up on yesterday's video that went over Plug Power, ticker symbol PLUG, which did close today on April 17th, Thursday, before Good Friday, the holiday. Markets closed. So before the long weekend, Plug closed at a price of 90.03 cents, being down at 2.26% on the day. And so really, I just kind of wanted to make this video to walk you guys through my thought process with this, in that, I really feel like Plug Power is walking the line right now. And I thought it was going to close below the line, but just fractionally it closed above it. So I wanted to walk you through my thought process with that. And my thought process really began when I was at work. I have Webull on my phone. I was just looking at the chart and trying to navigate whether or not I should exit my pretty small position. And I do have some calls that expire in January, or I do have one call that expires in January, and I do have some shares. But overall, if the shares went to zero, it would not be the end of the world for me. So it's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to walk you through that and, let you know what I'm thinking with the stock as far as basically, what I'm thinking about doing. But of course, none of this is financial advice. This is, a trading journal. It's my personal trading journal. I just like to make videos, talk about stocks. And so, yeah, I wanted to walk you through more casually my thought process with Plug, following up on yesterday's video. So let's see if I can pull that up here. Sorry, this is, I actually don't want that. I want to come over to the channel here. This is, just following up on this video that I put out yesterday on Plug Power, testing long-term downtrending support or falling off a cliff. And so if you want some more details on some of the levels that I talk about in this current video, I'd recommend checking that one out. But yeah, I'm just going to dive into the chart here following up on that one. And so based on the drawings I had up in that video, I was thinking about, is this confirming a breakdown, or are we going to reclaim levels to the upside? And so in yesterday's video, I talked about this green horizontal line that is at $9, sorry, not $9, 97.5 cents. And so, there's a little bit of clutter here, but that level corresponds with the low that we hit on April 15th. That being a low of 97.5 cents. So I kind of just drew that level there, also thinking that, it seems to correspond pretty nicely with this green downtrend. And, I checked this just before making the video, and I did check it in yesterday's video, but just making sure this is based on the pivot lows, the exact lows from back, over a year ago, January 18th of 2024. That low was $2.26.3. And then over here, we had a low on September 6th. That was at $1.60. And, those are the only times that we've tested that trend line. So I feel like it's a pretty notable trend line. And also, over here, just looking at this to kind of put it into perspective, right after hitting that level, it went up over 127%, 120% to the upside. And then over here, when it tested it again, let's just go up to that red line there. It went up 40%, so kind of, diminishing returns, but did get some pretty notable bounces from that level. And so what I would, like is a bounce from this level, but I'm actually wondering now, if it's breaking down. And so 97.5 cents is actually not really the level to be looking at for that. And really, there are like two levels that we want to be looking at. One is the last date we closed above this uptrend, or this downtrend, sorry, the green downtrend there. And so that was on April 15th. And so I have the low marked there. I think that's kind of a nice approximation for reclaiming that green downtrend. But really, what we want to be reclaiming. And I'm actually going to have to think about this. This is about confirmation signals, and I'm not the best at analyzing them. But so let's see. I guess I'll start with the downside level, and then we'll end with the upside level that I'd like to see Plug Power reclaim. And so the downside level is, okay, so I'll walk you through the thought process. Here, on the 15th, we're trading above that green downtrend. We actually kind of test it. We kiss that level on the 15th, which is around 97.5 cents, but we close above. You can see that very clearly. We got a close above that level, so there hasn't been a breakdown. But if we look over here at the 16th, we have a clear breakdown, a clear close below that, kind of notable green downtrend. And so yesterday on the 16th, what price do we close at? 92.11 cents. And so, that doesn't look so great, but this is the first time we closed below that downtrend. And to confirm the breakdown, we need to see a close below the low for that breaking down candle, or that closing below level of the trading. And so that is at 90 cents. You can see it here on the 16th. If you look up here where the cursor is, I have to move it back over, but we can see the low is 90 cents. Also up here. Actually, this is, I'm kind of confused by this. It says the low, so this is, maybe I need to consult with AI or something on this, but it says over here, just where the cursor is, just above it, it says the low for the day for Plug Power was 86.66 cents. Now, that also has 3 sixes in it, so maybe that's bad luck. I don't know if you're superstitious, but it doesn't matter if you are, if I am, if other people are. Maybe that's a bad omen. I don't know, but the point is that's actually lower than 90 cents. Actually, no, that makes the argument stronger, because let's say the low was 90 cents. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I'm stupid. I'm thinking about the wrong day. Sorry about this. This is a rough cut, but I'm just walking you through my thought process. The low for today was 87.66 cents. Maybe there's a bad omen there. I don't really know. What shows up on my chart for the low? Yeah, 86.66. Maybe that's a bad omen. Take it with a grain of salt or do whatever you want with it. I don't know. But that clearly is the low for today. The low for yesterday is what I'm talking about. 90 cents. No question about that. I don't need to consult with Grok or anybody. 90 cents. That's the white line there. And so what we do not want to see is a close below 90 cents, because that would be a confirming close below the low when we closed below this downtrend for the first time. And so closing below 90 cents would be a confirmation of that breakdown. And then that could then be followed by, basically, I'll change the color of this to make it a red doodle there. This would effectively happen. We have a confirming close below the green downtrend. We get a bounce to retest it, but then we get rejected and it breaks down. And so this confirming close would suggest that it's really weak, but that would be a close below 90 cents. What did we get? We didn't get that. Pretty remarkable. Plug is really walking the line here at 0.03 cents above that confirmation level. So I was planning with my small position. I was planning on saying, or my plan was while I was at work, since it's clearly not the 97.5 cent level, that's not a confirming level for a breakdown. The confirming level is 90 cents. So my plan while I was at work was, if it closes below 90 cents, I'd sell my shares, and next week I'd, evaluate what to do with the call that I have to get out of the position. And so that didn't happen, though. We closed above 90 cents fractionally, but we did. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold off, but I'm going to wait. if we get a close, it doesn't matter what day it is next week, whatever. If we haven't negated this breakdown by closing above levels to the upside that stand out as important, I'll go over those in a minute. If we have not done that and we get a close on Monday or Tuesday next week below 90 cents, I got to draw a line in the sand, and that's at 90 cents. That would be a suggestion to me that it's a confirmation of the breakdown. I'd be taking a loss. That would suck. But like I said, it's a small position. I can get by. And I just need to be managing risk. And I need to be trimming my portfolio, focusing on the winners. And I feel like, in all honesty, regardless of what happens over the next couple of weeks, I just feel like Plug Power is going to continue bleeding. It doesn't matter what I think about hydrogen fuel cell energy, that sector. It's a stock, it's a company. Maybe it's just going to keep going down. So, but that's if it closes a daily close below 90 cents. We haven't seen that yet. And so, okay, so what are some levels to the upside that would suggest to me that there's some strength? I talked about one of those levels yesterday in yesterday's video, 97.5 cents. I've said it a number of times here. I think that's an important level, but I don't think it's super significant because we wouldn't be reclaiming, getting a close above a prior high. And so I kind of view there being two levels that I'd like to see us reclaim. And so let's see, the 16th, we began the day above that downtrend, but closed below. And so what I would like to see is a reclaim of the high from that day. So on the 16th, the high was $1.01. And so I'm going to put an alert there at just the line at $1.01. I would like to see a close above that. But what I think a real confirmation of a negating, I don't know if that's a word, negating the breakdown. I don't know that this is necessarily significant for that 101. I think $1 is also important. But, the last time that we closed above that downtrend was on the 15th, and the high for that day was 107. So that's what I would really like to see, a close above 107. And then if we do retrace, that would then potentially be finding this green downtrend as support. So I'm going to adjust the colors here. So I'm going to say that, this horizontal line here at 97.5 cents, I'm going to say that's the orange line, because I got that little red doodle there that would suggest the rejection. And also, maybe I'll make this horizontal line down here red as well at 90 cents. That is really like a make or break level for me. Getting above 97.5 cents, I think that would look good corresponding with the low from the 15th, but I don't think it's make or break. I think 101, I think that's starting to get more promising. So I would say yellow there because that's above the high from the last date we traded above the downtrend, but it's not the last day we closed above the downtrend. So if we got a close above 107, the high from April 15th, that would make me think that I have a lot more confidence in this. But as of right now, I'm really just kind of on the fence. Plug is walking the line. It's, to be honest, kind of frustrating because, but this could just be, we take a step back from this trend line, we initially hit it, bounced 100%, got a very nice move, hit it again, bounced, got a very nice move, and then now we're trading below it, So maybe this is a fake out breakdown. I don't know. I don't know. We haven't confirmed the breakdown. So, we might see the bottom and then maybe we get a move up like I have doodled out here to, around 128. I'm not sure. I would think that 128 would probably be the top, at least short term. Long term, I have no idea. I don't plan on being in Plug long term, and that's not necessarily having anything to do with the company. That's just the market volatility. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. Things are pretty crazy, So I would want to trim my portfolio down. I want to trim the fat. Plug's not necessarily fatty. I have no idea. I'm not trying to judge, but I just need to do a little bit of cleaning up. So, yeah, and I'm going to try to do that based on levels, and we didn't hit that level. So I've got some hope still, but I was this close. And actually, to be honest, I'm surprised to see it at 90.03 cents. And maybe actually, I'll pull it up on Yahoo Finance just to see. Yahoo Finance. And this is going to pull up Rum for some reason. And I will pull up Plug. Oh, what's going on here? Plug Power. So at what price did it close at? Yeah, okay, so I'm just checking multiple sources, making sure it's correct, because I swear that I was watching the last minute of trading today, and it closed slightly below 90 cents. And so maybe this is a signal. Maybe it's just like market makers talking amongst each other. We got to push it just a little bit above 90 cents because the fact that we're not closing below this low means it's not confirming a breakdown, and this is actually a dip buying opportunity where YouTubers start to panic about, can't take the pain anymore, want to trim, want to clean up. So I think that this is maybe, a signal. Who knows? Maybe that's a little bit of a tinfoil hat. I don't know. But we didn't confirm the breakdown here. So there's still some hope. And, but yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I think that this is probably going to go below $1. I think that they're going to have a reverse split. And following that reverse split, I think it's going to bleed. So let's say it trades down to 50 cents. They have to have a 1-for-10 reverse split. They get the stock price up to $5. But then price bleeds down to $2. And so that would be equivalent to bleeding down to 20 cents. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You do you, but if I know, I don't know, but let's say I knew that this was going to go down to 20 cents. What would I do? I would say, crap, I'm going to sell. I'm going to offload my shares and I'll buy back at 20 cents or, I'll find something better. But yeah, I mean, I could see this at $2 a share post 1-for-10 reverse split. But anyways, enough about all of that. Let's just dive into a few more things with the chart that I wanted to talk about. I mean, I got those levels to the upside, 97.5 cents, 101, and then 107. Want to see closes, not wicks above, closes above those levels. And if we can't get up to 97.5, then I think this red doodle is probably going to play out. So, be cautious of that. Have a plan for everything to go to zero. Doesn't matter. Got to have a plan, whatever it is. Okay, so anyways, I just wanted to remove the drawings here to just kind of note that, we've had 4, every single day this week has been a red day. And we did get kind of a spinning top here, bigger wick to the downside. Down to 86.66 cents. Those 3 6s make me nervous because people are superstitious. I don't matter. My superstitions or non-superstitions, they don't matter. Just a matter of fact, maybe that's a bad signal. I don't know. It's probably not. But, this is, closing. All these closes are lower, okay? And as the closes get lower, what does volume do? Over here, 51.6 million shares, 105 million shares, 132.8 million shares, 128. So actually, volume came down a little bit for this day, so that's good. And so maybe the sellers are getting exhausted. If we look over at the 10-minute time frame, we can just kind of see how this reacted. And I'm not the best at volume analysis, so take it with a grain of salt. But we do see the lowest pricing down to 87 cents or 86.66 cents, whatever it is. This makes me feel a little bit better, to be honest. But with this massive red candle down, we saw buyers stepping in, pushing that back up. So I think that's a good look with that volume there. And you know, this just doesn't really do too much. See this kind of big wick up here. Buyers stepping in as it dipped below 89. Let's see, what was the open on this candle? Like last half an hour of trading. The open on that candle was 89.38 cents. So below there, look at that beautiful wick to the downside. That suggests buyers are stepping in, volume increasing. So I think that's kind of a good sign. A little bit of volume here, so maybe some selling as it got up to, you know, around 90 cents. Here it looks like the open for this candle, the red one there, the open was 90.57 cents. So yeah, a little bit of dumping there, but then it closed, you know, at 90. Oh, let's see. It's 10-minute candle. What did this close at? Closed at 90.3 cents. Yeah, so I mean, didn't want to make it too clear that it closed above. So I find that to be really interesting. I don't know how significant it is or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, just seeing this, you know, lots of bleeding here, volume increasing. The MACD though, let's see, the MACD from this day, from the 16th was like negative for the histogram. So not the actual MACD number, whatever. The histogram number is negative 0.0224682. And then over here, negative 0.023. So it's actually more negative. And so, yeah, I mean, that doesn't really look that great. And then if we look, you know, at the weekly, this is what makes me, you know, aside from this close, aside from any bits of hope, which I don't really feel like there are much. Really, it's just that 0.03 pennies. That's the little bit of hope that I have right there. But yeah, I mean, just looking at this weekly candle, over the course of the week came down more than 20%. And look at that massive increase in volume. That looks depressing, like selling off like crazy. The last time we had volume that high, so volume for the week, which is only a 4-day week too, so that's also notable. I can't say that I'm very confident in Plug. But so the volume for this 4-day week, super short, 418 million shares traded. Over here on this green candle, 375 million, so not that much. Over here, still below 400. So over here, 5 days. Was that 5 days? December 6th. Yeah, so that probably would have been a 5-day week. Let's investigate that. But that's 529 million shares. And I'm going to pull up the calculator. I'm going to pull up the calculator. And so let's see, the volume for that day, December 6th. Wait, this is the week that ended December 6th. Let's assume that's a 5-day week. 529. Okay, so 529 million divided into 5 parts is 105.8 per day. Okay, and then we have this 418 divided by 4. It's about the same. Yeah, I mean, you could rewind that. Maybe I'm stupid and I said a notably different number, but I think it was 105. Actually, I can just do it again. 104.5. I'll remember that. But this volume, 529 divided by 5. Yeah, so that's higher volume per day over there. So the last time that we experienced as high a volume that we just saw today on the 17th was on the week ending December 6th. That we saw this week, I should say, not today, this week. And then the last time we saw volume as high or higher than this week relative to, on average per day, 4-day week here. Let's check if December 6th, let's see, December 6th. So December 6th, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so that's a 5-day week. So on average, that had higher volume. Price was, price closed on the 6th at $2.38. Massively different picture here. Massive amount of bleeding there. So yeah, I mean, just look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 red candles in a row. Massive amount of bleeding. Lots of volume. Shortened week. I don't know. So I'm going to wait for a daily close below 90 cents to pull the rug out from under myself and then to liberate myself, to unplug. But so far, as of right now, I don't want to look at the weekly. I want to look at the daily. I think 90 cents, no closes below that, unless that is after we get a close above 101. Because really, like this orange line here at 97.5 cents, that's just to be getting above the green downtrend, but that's not really a significant level. The significant levels start to be 101, need to see a close not at, above that level, and then I'd be less concerned about 90 cents. And so we haven't seen that yet. We are on the line, and yeah, I mean, this was one that I was like, I'm just going to pull the plug on it today if it closes below 90 cents, and that didn't happen, so I'm going to stick with it. But that's, part of trading is making the tough decisions. And fortunately for me, with this position with plug, it's not such a large position. With other positions like AMC, that's a big one for me. I wish I would have sold May 24th last year because it just hasn't been a good performer and it hasn't gotten me anything good by just holding it. And, maybe plug will be, hundreds of dollars of shares years from now, maybe decades from now. I have no idea. Sorry, I scratched the mic. But I just think this time with what's going on with Jerome Powell, with Trump, with tariffs, with, I think that there's just a lot of, not necessarily red flags, but yellow flags, a lot of turbulence. And I would rather just hone in on the ones I feel really confident in. And plug being, below $1, it's a little too shaky, but, I'll wait for it to close below 90 cents. And for me, my average is, I think, 190 something. I'm going to wait for, I think like 130, it could get up there. And then I'd probably just sell at a loss up there because I think it's going to be resistance based on that yellow trend line, which I went over in yesterday's video. And with that being said, this is enough of a ramble. I want to keep it under 30 minutes. But, as always, this is helpful for me. I hope it's helpful for you. But, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching and have a great holiday weekend. I'm going to try to get some more videos out over the weekend, but I might just kind of chill the rest of the day. I am pretty beat. And so, got to take care of number one first and then Ed second. So, yeah, take care, you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you later.